Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and I finally decided to start putting this one off because I'm actually probably very excited to complete Superion as a whole. So we got Transformers Age of Primes, AERIALBOT Silverbolt, figure 3 of 5, it transforms in 44 steps. You've got to be age plus and over at, well, almost 42. I certainly am well over that age, so I'm going to mess around with this toy. And there we have Superion, robot mode, the normal G1 jet mode, the whatever commander bot, and then, well, that's just, what's that, to cover him when he's blasting that thing. So anyway, without ado, let's get this figure out of the packaging and have a closer look. Okay, this is massive. Now, I have to appreciate them going for a commander bit with a sort of a base build that is going to help create Superion, because that means we are going to hopefully get the best Superion off it. I can also accept that you could justify this by saying, well, in this mode, Silverbolt can only fly within atmospheres or something, even though we saw him out in space and stuff. But you could say that this helps him fly deeper in space as a sort of commander base that can perhaps support smaller bots flying in space with him that perhaps may need fuel or substance or energon or something like that. So that's the only way that I can look at this. Other than that, I've got to say, actually, this is quite cool. If Silverbolt was meant to fly in space, this is how I'm looking at it, and I think it's very, very cool. I've just realized I've got a drawer next to me that's poking out. It's driving me nuts. So just try and show you as a whole piece there, which just sits on the back, and you can obviously see some beautiful components in there that are gonna create that end product, which we will almost see completed on this video with only two of the mechanisms that go into the arms and the legs. So to separate it, which I don't usually do on camera, but you just put it apart like that, and that's very, very nice. And we're just going to put that to one side, and then we're just going to put this back. Now, once again, it has everything that I would expect. It sort of goes into the way that I would expect it. Nice Autobot Sigma on there. I mean, you do have the gross head there poking out. It would have been cool if you could, I don't know, pour them somewhere, you know, and I'm already trying to make it more complicated than what it is. It is what it is. These are there. You could say that they're little shooters as well. And I've obviously put his little gun on the front, which I don't mind, actually. I think that kind of works very, very well. But if he is an Autobot in disguise, he is flying like this. Questions around this piece as well. Could they have done better? I don't know. Can you flip that up like that? See how that looks. No, that looks even worse. Wow, that does look worse. Let's pull them back. Let's not spend time on that. So there we go. And then just bringing in the two Autobots, that other AERIALBOTs that I have. If I remember righty, there we go. And you can see, I think the sizes really do stand out really well, and I think they look really, really great together. If I had more stands, because I have shown these on stands, I would obviously put them in the sky. I feel like that would be an amazing piece to show you, but I haven't got more stands, so sorry, letting the team down there. Anyway, one day I will invest in some more stands. Trouble is, I have so many things that I've got coming inbound pre-orders that sometimes it's hard to be ahead of the game in order, because I'm always trying to say, right, how the fuck am I going to pay for that? Part of my language, I don't usually swear in a video, but usually that is what happens behind the scenes. So yeah, this is a great AURT mode. I really do like it. I think it's a great piece. We all know that if you're buying this, you are going to be focused on creating Superion. So, but I've said this about Devastator recently. If I could get free versions of this, bear in mind, you're talking about, what, nearly 300 quid there. That's a lot of money if you think about it like that. I would do it, because then that would be the ultimate AERIALBOT shelf I could have achieved. One with them all in combiner mode, one with them all in AUT mode, and one in robot mode. So there we go. It's not happening, obviously, because I've just told you that. It's, yeah, I have to try and keep up with some of my pre-orders, so we know it's not happening. But that plus they're all pretty much sold out, if I remember rightly. I think I got this from Smith's in the end. Somehow I managed to cock up my Hasbro Pulse order, and all of a sudden it came in, yours been cancelled. I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't even tell me that something had gone wrong. It was just gone. So anyway, I digressed quite a bit. Beautiful all mode. Let's have a look at that robot mode. I think this turned out a lot better than what I was expecting. It's really easy to change this into the sort of the battle mode. It's nice and compact and easy. So if you did actually, it helps if I transform it completely. So if you did want to use this as a sort of shield, it's great. And the idea is that this is taking impact. The bots are perhaps hiding behind it and then popping out to blast, or flying over to blast it. You know, it just acts as a shield. And then you've got this mega blaster that can fire out. Now, the only problem I would say with this is if it could have rotated, I would have thought that was like the best thing ever. But it is truly not the end of the world either. Serves its purpose for what it is. And once again, the important bit of this is the fact that we are going to deliver Superion, and he looks awesome. So I'm going to take the bots out of the way, and then we can have a closer look at Superion. In terms of Silverbolt, I think they've absolutely nailed it. This is a perfect representative of everybody's afraid of heights leader of the combiners, the AERIALBOTs, and very, very chuffed to finally had this. I had the Combiner Wars back in the day. I thought it did its job back then, but this is such an improvement. Okay, you've got the added bulk of the builder's piece, which is for Superion, and I like that. I can live with that, because that is about giving us the best Superion that I want, and this is the best Silverbolt we've ever had, you know, just from the fact that it's got the little wings on here, the nice Sigma there, the beautiful blue eyes in it there, if I can get that to focus, and stoic look. I think he looks very, very good all the way around. I mean, you do have this backpack here, but because he's already a reasonably bulky figure, it doesn't affect anything. He's got these sort of double feet. Okay, you can say that they're pretty ugly, however they serve a purpose. There's a couple of gaps at the back, not the end of the world in my mind. So in terms of articulation, head can go round, look down, look up. You can push these back. The arms will then go all the way around if you really want them to. Lift up like so. You get a nice swivel there. Only a single there, which is quite normal. Nothing on the wrist, which is a tad bit disappointing. Now, there's no real movement there. You've got the skirt that you can lift up, but this is not going to go back very far. You can push out like so. Single there. And then not really much in terms of the foot. So articulation is hindered to give us the best bot mode, but we went for the full splits just to show that he is flexible. But it does deliver on what I think is a perfect look. I think they've done an incredible job, and you know, I think you've got enough articulation that you can get what you want out of this mode as well. So without ado, it gives me great pleasure to deliver to you Superion. Hot damn, I knew this was going to be special, but I am really, really stoked with how well this has turned out. And once again, this is because of, I guess you can call it a sort of cheat with the commander piece, because if it was just Superion, which is what they use for the Combiner Wars, this would never work the way that it has and turn out so beautifully done. It's so well done. So obviously I've got two AERIALBOTs. So I've got Slingshot, which I think I've got on the right side. Tell me if I've got it wrong. It's been a while since I've watched G1. And then we've got Air Raid down there. That is Air Raid, right? I think I've got that right. Anyway, You can obviously put the gun on the arm, which is what used to happen in the show. He used to be on the arm as well. So in terms of detail, that head sculpt is absolutely ace. I did want to point out, and I meant to do this earlier in the video, you can take these off, which is good for that AUR mode, but it's also good for when you transform the head in, because what I noticed was I didn't really like how it went into the chest. It didn't feel very right. Maybe it's probably user error, but the fact that I could take them off guaranteed that these little rubbery bits were not going to get damaged, and they're not as perhaps rubbery as the Combiner Wars that was released. Sort of same mechanism as we've seen with Menasor in terms of things slotting into place. I've noticed, so I mean, you got to really push this. It's quite actually frustrating because you really got to push in this to get this for the doors to open. I'm not probably explaining very well, but any little bits like that, and it doesn't really go fully in. So I may have to mess with that. Problem that I've got, you can automatically see that this bit that's already in there, sort of, it came damaged. So I do have to, I've got to very annoyingly write to Hasbro. So just check yours. I think it's very rare that I get a QC issue, but I have, so I wanted to point it out. I love how the bots just sit very nicely. This is a very solid piece, and damn, I'm so glad that I have it and I'm doing this, because whew, phenomenal. And I'm really looking forward, like I said, to doing Devastator as well. I don't think I've got some other bots coming, so I'm hoping to get the last two AERIALBOT bots, and this will be complete, because this is going to be one of the best pieces on your shelf if you're a G1 fan. I think it's a nice size as well. Just in terms of size, here is a bottle, 500 milliliter bottle. So just so you can see the size, because I haven't got anything else to show you with. So there we go. There is Silverbolt and ultimately Superion. I hope you like my video. If you do, please do subscribe and let me know. Comment what you think of Superion, the AERIALBOTs as a whole. Do you think Hasbro have knocked out of the park, or do you still not like them? Entirely up to you. I don't really care. You can like or hate and have your own opinions as much as you like. Thanks to everybody that subscribed to my channel already. Really appreciate you folks. Great deal. Make sure you look after yourself. And as always, embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.